Chapter 15 of the Distortion Detective. Vespa Crabro. Is it Crabro or Crabro? And who would that taboo breaking idiot be? Most likely this so-called Vespa. The midday sun was shining overhead and over bed when I woke up. I'd slept for a while, hadn't I? I barely managed to get up and unwind the bandages around my body. It seems most of my injuries healed up overnight thanks to the HP tablet I took. The first thing I saw as I opened the door and to leave the room was Ezra having lunch at the table. So, one thing about the HP tablets, are they similar to the HP bullets you shoot at employees in Lobotomy Corporation? And if this, like, let me get my thoughts here. If there is a mechanic, something in the world that lets you heal as easily, wouldn't that solve a lot of problems actually? Would that make a lot of things possible? Would you really want a technology like this to be widely available? Just playing devil's advocate here, of course. Detective, did you have a good rest? Ezra cheerfully greets me from her seat. She was back to her usual lively self, having shaken off all the fatigue and gloom that was weighing her down yesterday. Yeah, is your body alright? Yep, I'm totally peppy now. What would you like for lunch, Detective? I don't feel like eating. My pipe made its way back into its usual position and headed to the terrace. There's quite a few things I need to look into. Ezra, is Yuri in her room? She said she's gonna inspect the black box we brought from the Thai Young Produce Company. I do like a tendency to take the initiative. Enjoy your lunch, Ezra. Okay. Leaving Ezra with her meal, I headed for Yuri's room. Loud noises were coming from the door. Knock knock. Who's there? It's me. Unable to think of a knock knock joke in the spur of a moment. I knocked on Yuri's door. Yuri, mind if I come in? No, be my guest. When I open... Is she still a teddy bear? How about well, should I bother with the teddy bear voice? I remember one comment saying that they didn't like it. I don't remember any comment saying they did like it, but it could just be that I didn't see it. I don't know. Yuri, mind if I come in? No, be my guest. When I opened the door, a familiar stairway met my eyes. It's the same set of stairs that I took when I first visited Yuri's atelier. The room I gave to Yuri didn't have any stairs, nor did it have space for them. It was structurally impossible for stairs to be there. Perhaps this is one of the effects of Psychomensch, as Yuri calls it. I walked down the stairs, thankfully with no bears aggressively jumping at me at this time. The corridor is decorated with ribbons that vividly show of Yuri's taste. I wonder if she adorned it herself or ordered her teddy bears to do the job. I reached the hall at the end of the corridor. The space feels smaller than last time. It's rather compact even. 8 teddy bears stood around the workbench, busily engaging in craft work as sparks flew off. What can she make the teddy bears do, really? Do they only craft, or can she make them cook or clean or something? You're here, Detective. One of the teddy bears turned around to greet me. I don't remember giving you the permission to modify the office building at your will. I still have many more months of rent to pay for the lease space. Don't worry, Detective Moses. I can revert at any time. You mean to tell me this space is part of your Psychomensch? Yes, it's my own atelier. I can freely control the teddy bears according to my will here. So, did you find a way to go back to your original body? No, it seems to be sealed tight. There's still too little we know about the Psychomensch. Finding a way back to my old body is one of the things that we'll have to figure out. So she has her own little, what's it called? Reality marble? That she can just even invite other people in? Isn't that quite crazy? That's incredibly powerful. I'm sure the head would like this technology. Then again, maybe they have something similar already as a singularity. Yuri casually spoke as if it didn't matter too much to her. What will happen if something goes wrong with your original body? If my vital functions cease and my brain stop, I would probably die. My speculation is that Psychomensch requires the user's mind to exist for it to work, but it's not like I can try crushing my own body to test this hypothesis. Well, for starters, you could see if you could feel the pain your body feels, but then again, why would you? It's not your consciousness feeling the pain, it's the nerves and telling your brain to think this pain, basically, right? You don't feel the pain in your brain. You know what I mean? It's a very hard and complicated concept to explain, but I guess it's quite obvious. There are people that have like this neurological disease where they don't feel any pain at all, and it's incredibly dangerous because pain is a good way to teach your body what to do and what not to do, and that you're doing something that is harmful to you right now, like touching a stove or something too cold or too hot or whatever. How do you handle having meals with that body? I should be alright as long as my body out there is put on a life support machine. This teddy bear can move fine without eating anything. It's my brain that requires nutrition rather. Yuri shook her head. I'm more concerned about this black box. I've never seen this type of material. That person from Taiyang Products Company mentioned LobCorp. I'm thinking it might have something to do with its singularity. Here we go. Man, this chapter is long. Are you implying that a wing singularity has been leaked? Well, it collapsed anyway. Remnants of a singularity. There have been a few cases of singularity coming off patent after the wing holding it breaks. Or someone could have scavenged one of the sealed branches, or got all the way into the headquarters perhaps. Yuri, I'm more interested in learning about the functions and working principles of that box. I can tell you what it does. This box sucks in people's psyche, or their distortions to be exact. Is it some kind of psychomensch? Basically, from what I've seen at least, it could be a psychomensch belonging to someone, or one formed from artificially created minds and emotions. Really makes you wonder. We didn't learn much about how they did what they did in Lobotomy Corporation. It was all basically a given. Oh yeah, we found out about Kogito, some way or another. We managed to extract stuff out of people, one way or another, but the technique themselves, while we know it was flawed, we don't quite know how they did it. I guess maybe they didn't really think about that back when they released Lobotomy Corporation. A lot of stuff has been hinted at for a long time, and a lot of foreshadowing has been going on in LC already, but not everything was explained already. Creating minds and emotions. An action that is considered a taboo. Ooh, is it because of the AI thingy, I guess? We'll ultimately have to learn more about the distortion and what you call Psychomensch. Yuri naturally climbed onto my shoulder. That's why you're going on a long trip, right? Speaking of, what should we do with your body when we leave? That's an issue I'm still pondering over. I've been tinkering with a few ideas, but for now we should focus on chasing the distortion. We already have a few requests waiting to be read. Yuri held her arm to point at the exit. This tiny teddy's growing more brazen with each passing day. Sure, let us have a look. Pardon me. I left the room to find a visitor in our office. The atmosphere was ominous. Ezra sitting on the sofa and facing the guest, looking as anxious as she can be. Could see his back from here, a bright yellow jacket embroidered with a black hornet. A couple of weapons lay next to him. Oh, I think I saw a picture of him already. Having the gall to wear such a blindingly obtrusive color means that he has that much confidence in his skills. Is it a member of a syndicate or a fixer? The guest noticed my presence, turned his head to look at me. Then a deep voice came from his mouth. A pleasure to meet you, Dr. Moses. Ezra, who is this person? He doesn't appear to be a client looking to give us a request, I adjusted the positioning of my pipe slightly. Detective, this is... Ezra floundered. Let me introduce myself. The man got up from his chair and turned to me, resuming his speech. I'm Vespa Crabrow, fixer working under direct command of enkephalin and a taboo hunter. Taboo. Damn it, this reminds me that this sly little bear Yuri recorded us the first time we met. What? Damn it, this reminds me that this sly little bear Yuri recorded us the first time we met. Oh. Now she was doing her best to act like a lifeless plushie on my shoulder. Okay, that was a complicated sentence. Wow. I've received reports that Moses' office should know about a certain person who violated the taboo of District 14. And who would that taboo breaking idiot be? I asked, puffing away on my pipe. Yuri of Yuri Atelier. That's the name of the violator. He answered, fiddling with the hilt of his sword wrapped around in yellow cloth. Have you seen her? No. Several people on the street have testified that they saw you enter Yuri Atelier. This doesn't mean that she's hiding her or something. Do you have concrete evidence? Alright, recording footage was forbidden in District 14, wasn't it? Vespa closed his eyes for a moment. He seemed to be absorbed in thought. He soon opened his eyes and spoke to me. Thank you for your cooperation. If you ever happen to witness Yuri, please mail me at this address. He handed me his business card. I will, Mr. Vespa. Ezra, our guest is leaving. Okay, detective. Ezra rose from his sofa seat to the open office door for our departing guest. As Vespa walked past me, he whispered into my ear. That's quite a cute plush toy on your shoulder. Why, thank you. Wow, we're only halfway through this chapter. Shit is about... Oh no, there's a picture here. I thought shit was about to go down still. Vespa briefly stopped at the entrance and gave us a nod before closing the door. Ezra, start packing up now. I calmly spoke. I sounded more panicky than calm. Enkephalin's taboo hunter, Vespa crab. Well, for one, I like his color scheme because it reminds me of Bina and the Arbiters. He looks quite cool, like somewhat nerdy glasses, but still very buff. Okay, next up, chapter 16. Let's see. A dual GUI combat office. We just need to hold out for 2 weeks. just 2 more weeks, everyone, okay? God damn it, I know the title of this episode. An ordinary hotel in District 14. I checked into the most average room with 2 beds I could ask for. Ezra and I sat on a bed. Yuri's old body lay on the other. And next to me is Yuri in a plush doll body. Could we transport her in a dimensional bag or something? You could hide a lot of shit. Just, can you hide a dimensional bag inside a dimensional bag? Just make little pockets that no one has the time to look through. And you can hide anything. Isn't it way too humid in here? My cotton's gonna get moldy. You sly teddy bear. Perhaps she knowingly broke the taboo as a means to keep us hostage. I'd bonk her on the head if I could hurt her. We left our office to escape the taboo hunter's eyes. He most certainly noticed that we were hiding something as soon as he met us. Those kinds of fixes simply can't be avoided. Although, how come they immediately sent a fixer that appears to be at least grade 2 after us? It's not common for a wing to dispatch a fixer under its command to deal with something as trivial as filming a fight in the back streets. What grade would Moses be? I mean, she has a pipe. Couldn't she be somewhat colorful, powerful or something? At least grade 1, right? Yuri, do you happen to have a previous track record of breaking taboos? She doesn't answer. Oh well, I can do a silent sound effect. Here you go. Well, Yuri, I guess this is the end of our relationship. Junior, it was fun while it lasted. Ladies, like it or not, we're all in the same boat already. Tell me why the 2 of us should risk our lives to protect you. Our own come before investigating distortions of Psychomensch, and what's chasing us right now is neither. We're not running a combat-oriented office. Have you seen Ezra fight? It's all for Psychomensch, of course. I rewatched the videos of you using the smoking pipe and the giant emerging from that black box countless times. That's how I could make many theoretical advancements in our research. What? Don't tell me the glasses we wore were actually... Detective, I never asked her to put any kind of recording function in the glasses. Ezra waved her hands and shook her head. A cheeky little bear put my hand to my forehead. You mean everything that happened in Tai Young Produce Company that day was recorded? Yes, until the disgusting river took the glasses off your faces, that is. Why didn't you tell me? I was scared you kicked me out. You would have at least stopped me if you knew. But if I didn't make any record of Psychomensch or the distortions, this research wouldn't go anywhere. That's why I was quiet about it. Yes, and that's fine and all. But Yuri, I put a hand on the teddy bear's head. Pet it? I didn't expect that. I was expecting her to maybe strangle or choke her lovingly. Remember, if you hide details that could put us in mortal peril one more time, then I'll part company with you for real. Understood, Detective Moses? Yes, that's a good girl. Alright, Ezra. Tell me your first impression of Vespa. Ezra has a keen sense when it comes to combat. Since she enjoys fighting, she's excellent at discerning a strong opponent from a weak one. Can't beat him. Ezra declared that outright. Ezra is honest when she says she's no match for someone. That person reeked of blood. He's probably fought more battles than I can count. He might be stronger than Jun Sonbei too. Which means he's definitely grade 2 or above. One who is an expert in murder at that. Detective Moses, can you defeat him with your Psychomensch? Your smoking pipe could take down the gigantic skeleton the other day. This kid seems to be mistaking me with the red mist. Ooh, name dropping. Yuri confronting humans is a different issue. There's a fundamental contrast between a distortion filled with naught but murderous intent and a person who is trained in the art of killing. A person like Vespa, who has overcome numerous life and death situations, won't give me any time to breathe into my smoking pipe. He'd slice my arm off or break it before I could take a single peep. What if Ezra Sunbay earned you some time just like last time? Junior, I'm not sure I can stall that guy at all. Silence fills the room. Only the sound of the ventilator fan disturbs the stillness. I don't really have a ventilator here. Like, how can you replicate the sound of a ventilator fan? Like, maybe with some paper? Like, does this work? Maybe like this? No, doesn't work. Anyway, if we can fight the Hornet head on, we'll have to outsmart him. The best way would be to avoid having to fight him all together. First thing I can think of is fleeing District 14. Yuri suggests crossing arms. A simple idea, but sadly not foolproof. There's 2 weeks of time until we can take the warp train with the tickets we received. The taboo hunter could catch up with us easily if we just drove along the road. Oh god, I forgot they're supposed to take the warp train. Don't, please! Detective, I got one. Ezra raises her hand and waves it. Go ahead. Maybe we should hire a super duper strong fixer to fight for us. Yeah, hopefully they'll buy us enough time to run. Do you have any personal connections with grade 1 or 2 fixers who specialize in combat, Ezra? No. Doubtful they'll take our request in the first place, even if there were any. Opposing a fixer who directly belongs to a wing essentially means opposing that wing. Detective, it means he'll stop bothering us once we meet up with Hee-Jun Sunbay in District 11, right? It'll certainly be less trouble for us if we can pass the buck on him. Just need to hold out for 2 weeks. Yeah, we haven't heard that before, I need to find someone who can buy us that much time. Ezra, do you have the most recent issue of the monthly Fixer office catalog? Of course I do. Ezra rummaged through her pockets and handed over the paper book she found. I skimmed through the catalog, densely packed with advertisements and promotional phrases for all sorts of offices, carefully scanning the section for combat-oriented ones. There's one useful-looking office that's not too far from here. Do-Gui Combat Office, a Grade 2 office, unaffiliated with any association, 17 members, operates 24 hours a day, open year-round. Normally it's extremely risky to use an office with no assurance from any association. It could be linked to dangerous syndicates, but in times like these, that's a perfect pawn for us. They won't ask what's going on, and all they ask for is money. Ezra, I'll go outside for a bit. Okie dokie, I'll get my gear. No, I want you to stay here and keep Yuri's body safe. But detective, it's dangerous to go alone. Is she about to hand her a sword? It's dangerous to go alone, and it's late evening too. Don't worry, Ezra. You're very reliable to have around, and I'd love to take it with me if I could, but I'm leaving you here so you can keep Yuri safe. I'm counting on you. Okay, Ezra answered, hanging her head. I'll be back as soon as I sign the contract. Yuri hopped onto my shoulder and I left the hotel room. An evening street lit by the setting sun. Achromatic, distorted people are on their way home from work, their heads turned downward. The scenery is the same as ever. People stroll the streets, bearing distortions that look similar to one another but not quite the same. I reckon these scenes will forever remain this way. A crude signboard that reads Do-Gui Combat Office is hanging outside a 2-story building. The light on the sign was flickering, suggesting that it had endured many years. This building seems to be more dilapidated than our humble office. I took the stairs to the second floor. When I opened the door, I was greeted with the sound of a chime and a fusty stench. What is... Fusty? It's what I don't know. A chime. Can I replicate a chime? I could with my phone. Oh no, wait a second. I have a... I brought this here for this reason. Can you hear it? Nice, right? A little bell. Guys, we got company. Followed by someone's loud voice, people in the office extinguished the cigarettes in their hands and started bustling about organizing the space. Here, please, take a seat, ma'am. A person who appears to be a desk jobber led me to a seat. It's not a single room, separated with walls in this office space that appears to be around 20 pyong in area. The floor was a plain surface of grey cement, not covered in any flooring at all. I parked myself on the seat and took my smoking pipe out of the inner pocket of my coat. Is this really a grade 2 office? Where do all the earnings go if none of that money is being spent on the office interior? Doesn't look like someone who'd usually come to a place like ours. Got someone you want to see dead? The man sitting on the sofa with a haughty posture talked to me, scratching his head. This sunglasses wearing person seemed to be the boss of the office. I'm here to give you a request. Well, you do look like you're wealthy enough to afford our service, and you seem pretty old too. Wow. I wonder what's your business coming all the way to our office. Let me guess, you got a problem with inheriting your fortune to your kids or something? Oh god, the only thing missing is that he starts calling us some kind of old hag. As the boss bursts out laughing, the office crew laugh along. Talk about an utter lack of dignity. Well, she won't feel bad about them dying to Vespa then. What do you think we are? Some kind of shabby local office made out of hicks? We've been through hell and high water. Say, let me have a look at your business card if you got one. I took my card out of my coat pocket and handed it to him. He briefly lifts his sunglasses to scan through my card. His 2 eye sockets are empty. A distortion. Not a severe one though. God, imagine having to try to decide on a split-second basis whether what you see is real or just a side effect of your weird distortion powers to see other distortions, basically. Like, is this person really blind, or do they really look like that, or am I gonna like walk into this if I ask them about this? Or Moses' office, mysteries and unsolved cases, 7 association affiliate, some weird shtick you're up to. He put a serious look on his face. He stared to the floor for a moment before looking back at me. Name's Sang Lei. I'm the rep of this office. He gave me his business card. Sang Lei, representative of Duogui office. Is it Lei or Lei? Grade 2 fixes written in rough handwriting as a note of his current status. Let's get straight to the point. What does a brainy office want with us? I want you to protect my office for 2 weeks. I'll pay you as much as you want. Made an enemy of someone, eh? Happens pretty often, don't it? The fixers in the office collectively nodded. So how many escorts do you want? Every fixer in your office. Must have made one huge fuss, haven't you? Once again, you'll get enough payment to compensate. Who are we facing? I remained silent. You smoke? I would love smoking. Let's take a moment to talk alone on the rooftop. Smoking a cigarette, Sang Lei looked up at the sky. A forest of buildings was surrounding the landscape. Night fell in the streets already. So, your job is to solve weird and odd incidents? I nodded, smoking with my pipe. See, I have a kid. Problem is, she shut herself in a room and just won't leave. You're giving me a request now? People's gotta help each other out, ma'am. Maybe it's just my thick head, but something beyond my comprehension is going on in my house. If you can solve this problem, I guarantee you'll have my whole office keeping you safe. Can I get a discount on the request fee then? Come on, aren't we doing you a huge favor by not asking who we're up against? Now you're just being greedy. I laughed with him. Yeah, right. As far as a much better negotiator than I am. Can you offer an escort right now in that case? The location is room 1306 in the business hotel on Chili Street. A few useful guys will be on their way to that address right away. Good. I'll hear more about the strange happenings in your house as we head to your home. Well, that's a deal then, yeah? I nodded and shook hands with Sang Lei. Tobacco smoke billowed from the roof for a good while. That's cool. Although I gotta wonder what the problem is. It might just be puberty, you know? Yeah, I think I'm gonna end here. I think, like, I'm okay with, like, reading 2 chapters every now and then. And, like, keeping it at that. Just a short little tasty video to whet our appetite for the Project Moon universe. Next week will be chapter 17, Aquarium. Nice title. Kind of similar to one of my favorite albums. A shrill shriek strikes my ears immediately. I wonder when we'll get to see more of Vespa Crabbro. I think, like, they did a trial manga for Distortion Detective, and I think Vespa was in this one. I saw a screen, like a singular page of the manga, and I believe it looked like him. Anyway, we're gonna end here. Thank you, everyone. See you soon for, I guess, more Distortion Detective or something, I don't know, depending on what you like. Bye.